friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Casper and I'm the boy diviner and I wanted to talk about something I already talked about, but more. I don't know if that makes sense, but in my previous video about Kickstarter backing and seeing what are the signifiers of a successful or very possibly successful Kickstarter campaign, you need to look into a lot of the things that the creators have done previously. And I feel like I got a bit lost when I was thinking about the points for that previous video because I kind of detracted from the original premise and really focused on what you needed to look out for in the old Kickstarter campaign. And I realized there were signifiers in the current Kickstarter campaign that you should look at as well. And I neglected to talk about many of that. People in the comments really helped out. People shared their views and what they usually look out for in the current Kickstarter campaign. And it's a really pertinent question because what if that campaign is their first campaign? What if the creator made their first deck and wanted to do it on Kickstarter? I feel like that's super valid, and today I wanted to share with you four things you should look out for in a current campaign to discern if it's a campaign that you want to back, if it's a campaign that is likely to be successful. Again, I want to highlight that backing Kickstarters don't mean that you want it to be successful all the time. For me, when I do a Kickstarter, I do want something in return. If you have a bond with the artist, if you feel like the artist deserves your support intuitively, go ahead. I'm not stopping you. This is just for people who are hoping to get something out of the money they put in, and this is a way for them to discern the risk of backing a Kickstarter, the risk of the Kickstarter falling through, or the likelihood of the Kickstarter succeeding. Okay, so I just wanted to keep that in mind before I begin. I also want to highlight that this Kickstarter thing that I'm talking about is specifically for tarot or oracle decks. Some of these may not apply for general Kickstarter stuff. Okay, the first thing you want to look out for is how far has the art come along. Is the artist still creating the art? So I have seen some Kickstarter campaigns where the artists have only created the majors and none of the minors, but they are offering a 78 card deck. For me, I wouldn't be comfortable with that because I have no idea how the pip cards will turn out. Sometimes the creators do show some of their pip cards, the creator does show some of their work in progress. So it really depends. For me, if I feel like they have done all 78 cards, even if they're not polished yet, even if they're not colored yet, if they have line drawings of it, all 78, I feel kind of more safe to go ahead rather than only 22 cards being done or less, or maybe half the deck being done and then the rest nothing at all, because that makes me feel really uncomfortable. Artists are great, they create great art. The thing is, not all artists are business people as well, and not all of them know how to estimate their time. Some of them do. I'm not saying that they don't, but I have seen Kickstarters that have gone years beyond what they expected because of the difficulty in creating the art for the deck. So an example would be Uzi. Uzi creates great decks. People talk about their decks all the time. I bet their Materia Prima deck last year in October, I think it's supposed to be out February this year, but it's not out yet. They are on their way. The art was only completed a few months ago. So from here, you can really see how long it can take, and estimates can be really off because the art has to be good. So I do understand them taking that time. It's just that if I knew how far away they were from creating the art, maybe I wouldn't have backed the deck. This is something I tend to keep in mind. At the same time, because they are Uzi and they have money, I mean they are a big company, I was pretty sure that the campaign would be successful. So delays are fine. I just want to make sure that it is successful. And sometimes when the art isn't completed, the artist may lose inspiration halfway. The artist may not feel like they can finish the deck. I don't know. So anyway, that's the first point. I think I rambled a little too much. We should take into account how far the art has come along. So that is again dependent on your risk appetite. If they create one card, would that be enough for you? If they created 50, would that be enough for you? It's really up to your risk appetite and what you can take and what you cannot take. The second factor I wanted to talk about is, have they engaged their current backers? Are there questions in the comments that are left unanswered? Are there a lot of questions that were asked weeks ago that were not answered? Or how is that going? Were there regular updates since they started the Kickstarter campaign? These are questions I always ask myself. These are questions that I always click into each tab and look in this current campaign. So if the creators do seem a little busy and preoccupied, it is really a bit strange, just because at this point in time they should be engaging their backers as much as possible to get new backers. So even though it's not the most accurate impression, because people can disappear after the initial period, I've seen this happen all the time. At this point in time, if they are showing that kind of distance, it's not a good sign for me. Tying back to the old video that I talked about, I would also check their past Kickstarter campaign just to see how they changed after the deck is backed. Okay, so that's an extra, but at this point in time, do take a look at how they are engaging their current backers. Okay, the third thing I want to talk about is Google the creator. Always Google the creator, and if they said that they created another deck before, take a look at those decks, because I trust a creator who has sold decks before much more than someone who is their first time and they don't know how to estimate, because I've seen decks that have priced really cheap on Kickstarter and I don't really dare. So take a look at this creator's credentials. Have they created decks before? If they haven't, have they created art before? Do they already own a successful web shop selling things? Because that shows some business acumen, especially when the person is actually selling their own things. If they hired a marketing agency or something to help with their Kickstarter campaign, that's a bit different. But Google the creator, because apart from all this business acumen, seeing how they have the experience doing decks, you also want to see if their principles align to yours. See if they have done anything shady in the past that you might not agree with. I've been struggling with that a lot the past few weeks, honestly, because there are decks that I got that might be problematic to some people, might not to me, and I don't know if that's right for me to support or use the deck. I have pre-ordered things from people that I might not super jive with right now, so I've already done the pre-order. Should I cancel the pre-order? But I really like the deck. Is it true? How do I feel about it? Would I be cancelled? Would I be cancelled if I support such a deck? All these questions are in my mind, but yeah, I just need to you really need to do some research before you do something you regret, before you buy a deck and support someone that you might not want to support. So Google the creator, take a look at what is out there, and really, make sure that you agree with them, number one. Number two, that they have business acumen, that they have some kind of experience creating decks, and you can safely support them. If you enjoyed this video so far, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out. I really appreciate every single person who comes and subscribes to my channel. Thank you so much. Okay, the last thing is not really a huge thing, but I tend to take a look at how many extras do they offer, or how many add-ons or stretch goals that might seem not that realistic. So for the Orion's Tarot, for example, whom I backed, it was a really smooth Kickstarter campaign. The stretch goals all seem really doable. They were really just upgrading cardstock and having gilding, things like that, which I appreciated. Because some stretched goals or some add-on stuff, I think it overcomplicates the Kickstarter campaign. Having a little bag, a zip bag, a canvas pouch with a string, a drawstring, or adding pins and maybe a stationery set. I feel like that might overcomplicate things in the Kickstarter, might slow things down, and may also cause some sort of disappointment, because creating those kind of add-ons creates more confusion or creates more work on the creator. I would say when you're seeing too many add-ons, like maybe 5 or 6 beyond the typical guidebook, beyond the typical bag, if there are extra pins and things like that, and the creator doesn't seem to have previous Kickstarter campaigns where they easily created pins and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then maybe you want to be more wary, because they might be overstretching themselves, and then they get the budget and they realize they don't have enough for the add-ons, and maybe they sacrifice the deck quality for these add-ons because these add-ons are already promised. Things like that can happen, and so I just want you to make sure that the campaign is focused, they know what they want to achieve, what they want to create. And that's when I would feel more comfortable, backing that sort of Kickstarter campaign. Okay, this was a little short video about what you can look out in a current Kickstarter campaign to see if you want to really go for it or not. I hope it was helpful. I hope this was enjoyable. It's short, sweet, hopefully sweet. Comment, let me know if I missed out anything. I will pin your comment if it's really useful so other people can see that. I really hope this video helped out. You guys have a great rest of the day. You take care. Bye!